Hey.
Woohoo! Howdy, everyone. Everyone say hi. We've got a sampling of the wonderful Echoes team here. There are more, but these are the best ones because they're here. Hi, everyone. I am the writer and director of Echoes, Tim Ritter. We are launching our crowdfunding campaign, and we are also giving a first look at this thing that we've been working on going back to summer. Well, actually, we were going to start shooting in summer of 2020, but we all know how those things kind of go these days. So first of all, we're going to go to the Seed&Spark page, and I'm going to launch the campaign, and then we'll all watch the video together. All right. Share screen. This is something I should have tested in advance. Okay. Okay, my fault. I had it loaded, and now we're waiting for it. Hope some people are watching. Let's see.
Yeah. You can see the number on top.
Okay, cool. Somewhere up there. Select window or screen. I'll try this one. Okay, I'm having trouble sharing my screen. Social media maven Aurora, can you try and share your screen?
Yeah.
You share the video. I'm going to go ahead and launch the campaign while you do that.
Wait.
All right, we are live with the campaign. You'll have to take my word. Yeah, there it is. All right. So if you can blow that up full screen, Aurora, and I'll shut up. Watch that wonderful video.
Alrighty.
This is the line. All that's inside the line is yours. All that's outside is not.
Oh gosh, it's just a really raw film that kind of is its own take on creation and new beginnings.
It is something that I've never even seen before. It's very original and creative, and it's going to be really fun.
Hi, I'm Tim Ritter, writer and director of Echoes. In Echoes, we see a world in which mankind has been wiped out. And we start up with a godlike character carrying a baby into a cabin in the woods to start the Adam and Eve experiment all over again.
The director, Tim Ritter, he's pretty known for taking scripture and trying to have a nice little twist to it. So
it's a very interesting story because it really puts the Adam and Eve story in a new light, and it generates questions that I know a lot of people have asked themselves, such things as, is there actually free will, or are there certain things in the human condition that just push us towards the same downfalls that we always face?
The Adam and Eve characters we're going to see grow over the span of 30 to 40 years. We have a great makeup artist on board helping to ease that, but also a lot of it is the actors who have committed a lot of time. And it's been amazing to see how they've become these people and fit so well together. It's pretty awesome. Now, this is my third feature-length film. I made Moment of Truth. I've made Testament. But there's a reason I keep coming back to the micro-budget approach. And that is This gives us a chance to make something genuinely new, something genuinely different in both approach and content from everything else we're seeing out there. What I've observed is it really does take not just a director, not just a crew and a cast, but it does become sort of almost a community affair.
A lot of people see filmmaking as a glamorous thing, but the same way people say that it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to make a feature film.
That all starts here with this campaign. I'm hoping that we can bring people in. We're all excited to create something new together.
Echoes is a great film. I mean, we're working with young, up-and-coming filmmakers who honestly will be pretty big, I think, coming soon.
It is an incredible story that needs to be told, and we would love for everyone to see it and share that with the world.
So join the Echoes experiment. Can't wait to get started. All right. Thank you, Aurora. All right. So if you are watching us on YouTube or if you're watching us on Facebook, you should be able to find the link to watch this again yourself. You know, watch it again and again, as I have. And that's seedandSpark.com/fund/echoes-1. Thank you to everyone here for joining me. I want to go ahead and introduce everyone, and we're going to talk some about the movie. Oh, thank you. Look at that. That's so exciting. All right. So I'm going to just go around the digital room. You already know who I am. Trinity, tell us who you are and how you were involved in this film.
Hi, I'm Trinity Seuss. I play young Eve. Do you remember when I first got cast? Was it like March?
Yeah, you were this year at some point. No, I don't remember.
Yeah, and it was, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I had a phenomenal time on set. It was truly so much fun. And there's been some lifelong memories that I will keep with me forever from that set.
And you were playing
Young Eve.
Young Eve. So these character names might sound familiar, again, as you saw in the video.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll go counterclockwise, I guess. No, I don't know. Shakhzad, Dadgar, tell us who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm the script supervisor. My job is to make sure that the continuity is going to be on the right track, and I'm the one who is telling everyone, take off that ribbon band off your hand. Come on, there is a hair on your chest. So Noelle knows a lot of stories and went through a lot of things in the also college. So guys, this is your chance. You can complain about all the comments I'm giving you all the time. So take your revenge, that's fine. Thank you, team.
We are very grateful to have you pointing out all of our mistakes. And Shakhzad also, it should be said, is an incredibly talented director herself, very accomplished in Iran, and her own feature will be coming soon, her first American feature film. So, yeah. All right, Noelle Gates.
Hi, I'm Noelle Gates, and I play Eve, grown-up Eve, in this film.
Awesome, thank you. Andrew Scott Faust.
Hi, I'm Andrew Scott Faust. I am the composer on this film. I've been working with Tim on many of his past films, both of his other features I did the score for, as well as many other short films. And my work's just getting started. So I'm really looking forward to finding kind of the last voice of the film with Tim. He's always a lot of fun to try to experiment and find something new. We always come up with a new sound every film, and really enjoy doing that. And so it's going to be a challenge. The content is just rich with things to pull from. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to jumping in real soon and, you know, getting some sound onto some pictures. By the way, Tim, I haven't gotten to see that video yet. So the cinematography looks fantastic. I'm very excited. I'm already wanting to start writing some music. So,
He's inspired.
I'm already inspired. Moments. Yeah.
Arca. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's me.
Awesome. Yeah. Our director of photography, Kevin Garcia, is not here, but you saw his work all through the video.
Yeah.
And he is phenomenal. And Andrew is very patient with my notes. We spend a lot of time on these scores. He does. And then.
Well, the good thing about it is even if I don't get my way, I still love what we come up with. So that's how I know I have a good relationship with the director is even if I lose the battle, I still love it. So if we can get there, I'm always happy. So that makes my life easier. So I don't have to be sad because I didn't get my way. But usually it gets me my way.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Shannon Gallagher.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if I'm lagging. I was lagging earlier, but my name is Shannon Gallagher, and I will be playing Telma.
All right, and we'll come back soon after this roundtable, and we'll dive into these characters a little bit. You all can tell us who exactly these strange people are. Thank you, Shannon. Khalid, speaking of strange, right?
Hello, everyone. My name is Khalid Tapia. I'm playing the part of the stranger.
Awesome. All right, and Nathan Howard, our oldest member of our cast and crew.
Hi, I'm Nathan, and I play the role of younger Kane.
Oh, Kane. I sense good things are going to happen with him. All right, so you heard me in the video describe what the film is, as well as a few other people, but I'm interested to hear kind of what it is generally and what drew you to working on the project. So I'm going to open the floor up if anyone wants to dive in, and if everyone stares at each other, I will dive back in and then call on somebody because I'm also a teacher. So, all right. Anyone want to tell us what is this thing and why were you drawn to collaborate on it? Trinity, you in the front.
Me? I'm the chosen one? So this film, well, first of all, what drew me in for this film was when I was first reading the sides, I think like almost a year ago, I was like, I need to know more because I barely knew, I didn't know like what was happening. I didn't put together originally that it was Adam and Eve. So I was like, And I was like, I need to know more. And then I got to read with the rest of my castmates. And I was like, yeah, I really, really like this. And the storyline is just remarkable within itself. I mean, it can just draw people in with just a single gesture. And I know that video was phenomenal. I'd never seen it before. I don't know if you could tell by my expression, but my jaw was like dropped. I was truly flabbergasted, truly. But this film is nothing like I have ever worked on before, and I truly feel very, very grateful and very, very honored to be a part of this and be a part of this family. And like, I love you guys. Y'all are the best. Yeah.
Thank you, Trinity. I'm looking at the chat. We're starting to have some chatting going on. Someone's saying that Shannon is going to be incredible. They're all going to be incredible. Trinity is awesome. We've already seen her whole thing. We're going to see Shannon. Shannon gets her first shoots in this week. We are actually shooting at the end of the week, 3 days. So we're even while we were raising money, we were plowing ahead and eager to keep on cranking. Anyone else? What pulled you into Echoes? Shannon, I think you were first.
Okay, hopefully I'm not lagging too much, but okay, so when I first auditioned for it, it was like right before the pandemic, 2020. And like any actor, I'm sure I was super eager to just get my hands on something. And then additionally, like heard wonderful things about Tim, heard wonderful things about Testament, and was really excited to be part of the next thing you were working on. And the audition process was really wonderful. I saw so many of my fellow Orlando actors in the audition and got to see so many Orlando filmmakers. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun and intimate and just full of people getting together because they love to do what we're doing. So I was really, really excited about that. And then even just diving into the script, there's so many, there's so much room to create, a lot of like imaginative liberties. Tim, you're really great about making sure that we have our own interpretation and just kind of maybe redirecting us in a little way. But it's just really wonderful to be given something and be given so much trust and to just get to run with something like this. So that's why I'm really excited.
Woohoo! I'm excited too. All right, Noelle.
What drew me to the project originally, I also auditioned before the pandemic, like right before the pandemic. And even just seeing the sides, just noticed that there was so much nuance and there were so many layers to this story. And after that, did callbacks and had a chance to read the full script. And yeah, I just was amazed at the layered story. And I had known Tim from before, and I was lucky enough to see Testament when it came out. So I knew he does great work. And so I love doing any kind of independent film, but this one particularly had so much layered nuance to it that I was just very drawn to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Noelle. And they keep referencing Testament, which was my last film, just announced yesterday. It will be available for pre-orders on Apple TV on February 3rd, and you can then watch it on February 18th. So lots of stuff going on. All right, Khalid, were you sticking your finger up to enter the fray?
Yes, I had heard about Tim from another director that I had worked with, and he said, yeah, you got to see this movie Testament. I was like, okay. So I start watching the movie and I'm like, I know these characters, this is Peter, this is Simon, and this is a whole twist on biblical stories and everything. So I thought that was really cool. Not many people can take the Bible, give it a twist, or take the stories of the Bible, and give it a twist, and it be so well done and effective. And cinematography and everything was just well done. The writing, I told Tim there was a monologue that I believe it was Peter's brother that did, and I just thought it was a phenomenal monologue. So I said, okay, definitely I need to know who this Tim Ritter is. And from there, I found out that he was doing auditions for Echoes, and I'm like, yes, I definitely got to get in on this, So, and like Shannon said, everybody was there from the studio that we trained at, and I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. But we were all in our own little zones, I said hello to somebody, and actually it was Noelle. I said, hey, Noelle, and she was like, and just went back to her script and everything. I was like, I totally get that, so I wasn't offended. And everybody was just in their zone trying to make sure that they get this role done right. And I was like, that is mad respect to the director. And then that first weekend on set, I was like, this is going to be such a great film, and then seeing the video, because like Trinity said, I hadn't seen it before, and everything just looks great. The cinematography looks amazing. And that's what drew me in. It was the fact that there was something different about telling these stories, these biblical stories, in a different way, and I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, thank you. I'm feeling embarrassed by all the accolades. Aurora, I forgot we didn't introduce you because I'm used to you being operating behind the scenes. Tell us who you are, Aurora Narcisse.
I almost made it. Hi, my name is Aurora, and I am the social media manager for Echoes. I help manage the Facebook and Instagram accounts.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you. She's doing a fantastic job helping explore this new live streaming technology and trying to help me understand it as well.
You, Tim.
What's that?
We have a question for you in the comments.
I see. All right. So, what inspired me to write the script was the question. It's always, I should always have an answer to that because that's always one of the questions, right? So one of the things I wanted to, well, it's hard. It's hard because I always have like 10 different things, and you're pulling from each thing. I had written a script way, way long ago. I don't want to say how long, but it was definitely well over a decade. It's one of the earliest feature scripts I wrote, where it was these characters and they set out across the country, and it was very post-apocalyptic, and things were going wrong everywhere. And well, it wasn't post; it was the apocalypse. Basically, was happening as they traveled across the America, and at some point they stumble across this old couple who's living in a cabin in the woods, and then we slowly discern that it's Adam and Eve, and they've been there for millennia, just sitting there watching humanity go by. And that's nothing like Echoes, of course, other than it's got Adam and Eve in a cabin in the woods. But the seed was there a long time ago. And one of the things I really wanted to explore in film is time passing, and how, and not that many films do it. They're very immediate. They're very in the moment. But I wanted to see, how expectations meet reality as we age and as we experience life. And I thought the origin story of humanity, depending on your beliefs, was a good way to do that. So we're actually, as I said in the video, we're jumping through time, and we see Adam and Eve grow, and we see then Cain and Abel grow. And we see how they fall into old patterns and how they break patterns and how things differ and how they're always the same. Because I feel like we as humanity tend to be trapped in cycles. And ideally, it would just be forward movement the whole time, but it's not a lot of the time, right? We just kind of keep going back and back and back, and hopefully we're slowly inching in a direction. So that's a long-winded academic answer to that question. All right, any other questions from the audience yet? I'll wait. In the meantime, I would love to hear about your characters. Tell me about your characters and how you're approaching playing them, actors. Yes, Khalid.
I am playing the part of the stranger, and this is a character loosely based on God. I'm going to put that in quotations there. And for me, it's so much fun just getting into this concept of I'm a creator and I'm wanting to make certain changes, but I'm also having to give in to the vulnerability of letting my creation make its own choices. So when I dive in, instead of looking at it as a deity, I'm definitely looking at it as more of he's the dad. I'm the dad that's trying to make sure that his kids don't make the same mistake as previous children have made. So looking at it from a fatherly perspective instead of a deity perspective makes it a lot more, I guess, fallible and vulnerable. And there's that aspect of a mistake can be made on my part. And I've seen mistakes made in the past, and I don't want those same mistakes for you. or the children that I'm trying to raise. So it's I find that the writing is very specific in what it's trying to pull out of each character. Everybody's fighting for something. Eve wants this. Adam wants that. Stranger wants this. And everybody's trying to. And then when the kids come into play, that's a whole nother ball game. So everybody's wanting that little something, and trying to find that middle ground is what makes the whole script so amazing to me. But yeah, but diving into the character is just looking at it from a fatherly perspective instead of that of a deity perspective. I think is the simplest way that I can put it without giving away too much.
Awesome. I want to hear from Nathan. Tell us about who you are and this character and how you're getting ready.
Yeah, so basically Kane, I would describe him as playful but conflicted, and he kind of goes through the story with his brother, who's played by my brother, who sometimes I like to irritate, sometimes irritates me. So yeah, I'm excited to get on set this weekend, and can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. All right, ladies, who wants to dive in? Tell us about your character. Trinity, is that head scratching? You're volunteering yourself?
Definitely. I play young Eve. Eve is very mischievous. She knows what she wants, and she knows that she will do anything in the world to get what she wants, but at the same time, she feels some sort of remorse because, as much as she hates to admit it, she does love the stranger. He is a father figure to her. I mean, he raised her and Adam, and she truly does care for him, and she's very thankful for him, but she wants freedom. She wants to be her own individual, not locked up in the cabin. Well, she's not locked up. She can go outside. But like, she wants the freedom to do things. And if you say she can't do something, she's going to do it. I mean I kind of do that too. But like, she has her ups and her downs. She has a roller coaster of emotions. One minute she's crying, the next she's rolling on the floor, then she's running through the forest with some thing. Yeah. So, and I absolutely adored playing Eve. I mean, she is definitely one of my favorite characters that I've ever played. I mean, I got a lot of freedom with the script, and I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that I got to be a kid on set too. Like, I was running around in the woods. Like, I've never done that as me, Trinity, but Eve did. Eve does. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Trinity. All right, adult Eve. Do you interpret your character the same way, or has she? How do you see her as she grows?
Yes, definitely. What Trinity said really hits home for me, as far as the way I've approached adult Eve as well. She's definitely just a very curious and sharp woman, and yeah, she knows what she wants. She's very smart, and even if she's not sure, she's sure, if that makes sense. But I've really loved being able to approach her character alongside Tim, our wonderful director, who, when we're rehearsing and when we're filming, he does a great job of just kind of giving little tweaks here and there to just change a little bit of the intention, or because there are so many ways to interpret the script and to interpret each character. I think it's really fun to get to play around with all of those things. And that's one thing I really love about working with Tim. He doesn't get kind of stuck in one way. He loves to kind of just experiment and see where things go. And so that's kind of how I approach Eve as well. Just, you know, learn my lines, but stay open, because she's definitely kind of a her own wild card of a person.
Awesome. I'm getting excited about watching this movie. I want to see it. All right. Shannon, tell us about Telma. Or what can you tell us? That's the question.
Okay, well, Telma is kind of this mysterious woman who lives in the woods. She doesn't age, and I guess her history is kind of a mystery as well. So that's where the creativity on my end gets to come in, and I get to kind of create her past and who she was and who she is. And at the root of her, though, is this like primal desire for human connection. And so she's very much the one who, although her intentions might be questionable, at the root of that, the want is to have another person, is to get to know another person. And so I think that's at the core of all of us, as pretentious as that might sound. And so I'm trying to look at her as, you know, as a person with a very real want, but also as like a symbol for kind of what we all might want, and what we're kind of built to want. You know, humans are very social creatures. So I'm having a really good time figuring her out. As every time I read the script, I find one new thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm having a really fun time figuring it out as I go as well. And Tim, like I said, has been really wonderful, and we were doing rehearsals and helping kind of broaden the way that things can be interpreted, and just keeping all of us open to different directions and different intentions, like Noelle said. And it's just been really wonderful to just kind of excavate this entire process. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. Do you all have any questions? I said I wouldn't just be a moderator, but I find myself moderating. Anything you all want to talk about before I go back to my list? Yeah, Khalid.
Well, honestly, I'm really looking forward to working with Noelle and Jonathan. Finally getting some scenes in with them. That's going to be, and Shannon, because all the older people I haven't worked with yet. I only got the opportunity to work with Trinity. And what was oh my goodness, I forgot his name. What was the
Nico?
Nico, yes.
It's our young Adam, yes.
And so I'm that's what I'm excited about, definitely. You know, and that comes in part because we're all trained from the same studio. You know, so we're all like got that background and everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun doing it on a set instead of necessarily in the classroom. You know what I mean? So that's the part I'm looking forward to the most, I guess. I guess that wasn't a question, but just a statement. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Noelle.
So I have a question for you, Tim. When you worked on Testament, and then once that was wrapped and you started working on this, what were some things that you learned during that shoot that maybe you brought with you, or that you thought, I don't ever want to do that again, or this thing worked really well? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So this is number 3. Moment of Truth was the first one I did. I shot for $2,000, and it was excruciating. But I'm still happy with what we made. But it was very challenging because we had so few resources. And Testament was a kind of a step up. We're still in the very, very low budget realm. The key, obviously, is that you can't tell, or at least that's the idea. And we had a lot of big time Hollywood guys working on the sound for Testament over the past year, and the sound effects guy for the X-Men movies and the Foley people for just about every movie that is a major release for last year. They're saying $10,000. That's crazy. I'm like, yay! But Testament was still a lot easier. It was a lot smoother. So I learned a lot from number 1 to number 2 that I was able to apply. But I also had more time to work on Testament. I find in Echoes, once again, I'm kind of squeezing it into the nooks and crannies of my life, which we all are in the indie world between our actual paying lives. But one thing with Testament and all of my work before this, and some of you who are just working with me the first time on this will be surprised to hear that, I was overly enamored with dialogue and would write streams of dialogue. And those who have seen Testament have seen some big chunks. And even then, like I trim lines out as an editor, and you just never know they existed. I'll take chunks out of scenes because there's so much dialogue. Echoes, as you've seen, has very little to no dialogue in most of the scenes. And that was I had made a conscious decision that was something I wanted to do, but then it kind of also just fell into the rhythms of the film because I had outlined it all extensively for a year before I wrote any scripts. So there was no dialogue. It was all just action, and not action in the Hollywood sense, but action and people doing things but not talking to each other all the time. So that's the big one, is the dialogue thing.
It sounds like you're just trying to make a film that I want to score.
Hey! And then I'm going to tell you, less. And he's like, no! Moment of Truth had like 85% score or something like that, or 90%. It was just wall-to-wall music.
All music all the time, yeah. No, that's great. The funny thing is, when you're saying that about Testament, I feel like there was so many like powerful scenes where people weren't talking that I think of it, and I don't think of it that way at all, but there was a lot of dialogue. But there were so many great things that you gave me to work with without a ton of dialogue, where I could have fun. Just maybe they were shorter than I remember, but there'd be these great shots, and I could just open it up and have a blast. That's funny you mentioned that. So now we're gonna have more space for the good stuff. That sounds great.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
Get those damn words out of there. Yeah.
No more talking. Yeah. No, that's great. No, the way I feel about things is I'd love to look at a great shot of an actor saying a ton without saying anything against a beautiful backdrop. I mean, you can tell any story you want, and that's so you can really refine what you're trying to say, and you get in the minutia without kind of words. It's like if you listen to a song and there's just words everywhere, it kind of really puts the nail on, it makes it very down the road. But when you have an actor give you something with an expression and leave it open, you can go anywhere you want with it. You can tweak it to whatever you want to do. So that should be a lot of fun to have. Obviously gorgeous cinematography and wonderful performances and a good story, which should be a lot of fun to score. So that's
yeah. Props again for your music on both previous films, which was very different for each and very unconventional for each. As you said, we kind of brave new territory each time. But
what makes it fun, yeah.
Yeah, and the actors, a moment of praise, because they're not given tons of flowery speeches to make in this film, but you can read it all in Trinity's face and Noelle's face and Khalid's face, and soon to be, as of this weekend, Nathan's face and Shannon's face. But it's all there, and the layers, as they said, are there, and we don't have to have words to see what's going on in their eyes and their minds, which is wonderful.
I have a random question.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, I swear to God, I've done a score with you in a film at some point. You look and sound so familiar. I know that I've written music over your person, so I cannot remember what it is, and it's driving me crazy.
Did you do Pizza Girl?
No, I swear to God, was it a student film or something? I don't know.
I've done FSU films. I've done a lot. I mean, I've done a lot of like Orlando stuff a couple years ago. So maybe one of
maybe
those.
there's something in there. And because I can't put my finger on it, but you're so familiar, and not because I've ever met you. It's because I always tell Tim this is I score these films and I spend so much time looking at the actors that I start to feel like I know that person and I've never met them ever. And when I talk to them like I know them, and they're like, who's this crazy person who thinks they know me? So yeah, I mean, I swear at some point I had to write music or something you did, but maybe not, but it's driving me crazy. Anyways.
Well, we can be officially friends, and then maybe at some point we'll review each other's resumes and be like, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah. That's what I need to do. I need to go through my IMDb and figure it out. It's just going to be crazy.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
As an editor, it's creepy how much I stare at your faces as well.
Yeah.
Like it's burned into my consciousness. Khalid.
I have a question for the actors, and this is going to be a weird one. Who is the villain in the story?
Definitely Eve. Okay. I have reasoning.
This I gotta hear.
None of this would have happened. I love Eve. Don't get me wrong. I play the younger half of her. But like, none of this would have happened if she would have been if she would have just listened to the stranger. None of this. They would be living perfect lives. But no. I mean, not saying that they aren't. But like, who do you think that the villain is?
Well, that's the thing. When I first read through the script, I was like, oh my God, if Eve had just listened, right? But when I read it again, I'm like, well, really? There are aspects to the story that if a parent had done this to somebody's child, some of these choices would have still been made,
Yeah.
So it was really cool to be like, no, you just can't put all the blame
on the child.
On just the child. Yeah. That's where I was coming from. So that's why I was curious. Noelle, what do you think?
Oh gosh. I think at certain points in Eve's mind, the stranger and sometimes Adam as well. I don't think she sees herself as the villain, but I can definitely see how some people who see the film might interpret it that way. She can, she's very knows what she wants and just goes for it. So I don't think she thinks she's the villain, but I think, it could be interpreted that way by the audience.
Shannon?
It says I have an unstable connection, so sorry if I pop out. But this feels like a cop-out answer. I'm so sorry in advance, but I feel like it's wonderful in that I don't feel like there is quite a villain. It's such a wonderful, not to be corny dad joke. It's a wonderful testament to like Tim's writing in terms of like really bringing the humanity of each person.
Right.
You understand where Cain grew up. You understand what his environment was like. You understand Eve's natural curiosity. You understand the desires of stranger. Telma is a little bit up in question, but even then she's got a history, so everybody's got their reasons for everything. And as I'm speaking, I'm kind of piecing this together. So it's a really wonderful way to kind of blur the line between giving people the room and the compassion to kind of be waived of the consequences of their actions. I don't know if that made any sense, but I think that it's really wonderful and that it begs that question. So
nice. Nathan?
I mean, my character kind of has his moments when he's older. I mean, I kind of sort of end up killing my brother, so but because this story there is an outside, but all the characters are all kind of connected to each other in a way that they're really, because villains normally come from an entire different background, but um like you said, everybody has reason to the things that they're doing. So I don't really feel like there is much of a villain in this story.
Shucks. Oh, Trinity's got her hand raised, but shucks, that looked like she had some insights to offer. But no, who wants to talk? All right, Trinity can go.
I definitely agree. I mean, anyone can be seen as a villain. It just depends on the perspective of the person. I mean, anyone in this movie can be considered a villain at one point or another. But a villain is a very strong word because that automatically goes to a negative place. And I don't feel like anybody in this film is negative in a sense. I feel like anti-hero, everybody's an anti-hero in this film. I don't feel like there's like a hero, like there's no hero in this, but nobody's a villain. So let's just go with anti-hero. Everybody's an anti-hero. They all have their iffy moments.
Good question, Khalid. I'm going to hand over my moderator gavel to you. One thing I wanted to kind of talk about was we've touched on it briefly, is the world of independent film, and we're very, very far outside of the Hollywood approach to making films. Though several people here have worked on big things, we have crew that's working on big time shows. Noelle, I know you popped up in The Right Stuff, and we got Andres, who's popping up in Dope Sick and all kinds of things, and Khalid, who's got an entire Asian Hollywood resume. So, I wanted to hear what you all thought about, the difference of, why independent film is worth participating in, even though it doesn't pay very well or at all. But and what the differences are and what the rewards might be for it. So I'll open the floor.
Okay. So my background is, as Tim said, it was Asia, specifically Korea, and Korean directors are nothing like Tim. They are very dogmatic in how they want it done, and don't always want feedback from their actor. They just want to tell the actor what to do. You do it. Go get something to eat. Go home. On the other hand, Tim is the script is ambiguous. That's why the whole villain question we thought was a great question. And when you read the script and you're like, man, what can I do here? And Tim is always like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want. Let's have you involved in this character process. And trust me when I tell you, I have worked with a lot of directors from England, America, And in my opinion, the best ones are the ones that always want to get the actor's perspective on everything. Now, don't get me wrong; those that have their strict way of doing things, they make great film, but it's not always great to be on that set, So because they only want it done their way, and that's absolutely fine because it's worked, and that wheel doesn't necessarily have to change. But that is the major difference for me. And then, of course, the schedule that is always so hectic on an independent film because you have all these people, everything has to line up. And if one thing changes, that changes everything for everybody else. And that can't happen on a set where everybody's getting paid and big money's involved. Everything has to be in line so that things can run smoothly. So I think the thing that I enjoy the most from both aspects is that I've seen what it's like to be on a big set like that, and then coming here to this one, and everybody's has a nice and beautiful history with each other. So it makes things a lot easier to just dive into the character, go over to your own place, and be left alone. You don't always get that alone time on a larger set because on a big set, everybody's there. They're pulling at you. They're telling you got to go here, come here. No, you can't sit here because this light you're blocking this or whatever it might be. So that can be really really tough. But on a more intimate set, it's a lot easier to just find your own place. Tell people, leave me alone, or go in a room and just shut up and read the script and figure out some more things that you're wanting to bring out about the character. That's my spiel.
Yep, Shaksad.
How I feel when I'm at a movie set, which is directed by an indie filmmaker, is like celebrating a holiday with family. So everybody is bringing whatever they have to the table. So we are all watching after each other. Are you fine? Did you get drink? Are you hydrated? Everybody's trying to get the most out of the time, energy, and the resources we are having. So it's not easy to make it. You gotta be a real true cinema lover. You are going to really love what you're doing. But what I feel all the time, and the reason that I myself is committed to this project, is the artistic journey that we are taking together and enjoying every moment, and everybody's adding their creative notes to make it better. So that's how I feel being a part of an indie movie.
Noelle.
To kind of piggyback off of that, that's one of the things that I love about being on an indie set as well, is not only that intimacy that you get with the cast and crew, but also the chance to really sink your teeth into material that sometimes, well, at least here in Orlando, if we do have auditions for bigger productions or whatever, they tend to be more tertiary roles and things that are certainly fun to do, but that don't have as much of a breadth to it. And so being able to really have that all that room for creative interpretation is what I love. And also getting to share that with my castmates when we do scenes together and really just feed off of that energy with each other.
Awesome. That was my unsubtle way of gearing it back to the Seed&Spark, which the link is at the bottom. It doesn't, the amount that we're asking to make this film would cover probably a few meals on a Marvel movie. But we are generating an entire feature film and a lot of meals for our small cast and crew. As well as all the things we need to get it across the finish line and out to the world. So we really need your help spreading the word, and we need anyone's help chipping in a few if you don't mind. It's a worthwhile investment. You spend $5 for a crappy cup of coffee, 5 cups, and you can give us half of a day's catering or something. So yeah, Seed&Spark. All right. Probably take just a few more minutes because it's getting late. But what else do we want to talk about, folks? Open the floor. Yes, Noelle.
I have a question for you, Tim. It was actually something I was wondering about recently. In the script, I noticed that no one ever really says anyone's name. No one ever calls anyone by their name, and I wanted to know if that was. I figured it must be, but if that was a conscious choice and kind of your reasoning behind that.
It just came up in our rehearsal the other day, didn't it? Was that with you and Jonathan, Shannon? Is that when that came up? Yeah, Jonathan Raffol was our Adam. But yeah, he was like, why can't I just call? So I like this, and I've done it in my other films. If you actually look at the credits, I like kind of this idea of anonymity of characters that have insanely rich backgrounds and perspectives that are nameless. So the script was written as nameless characters, and we'll see if it returns that way, or if I just keep for ease of everyone's understanding on the cast side, I put names in there. So it's like, oh, okay, that's Adam, that's Eve. When it was really originally just man and woman, and woman in the woods, and boy in the woods, and boy, and younger boy. So we'll see. I know that I feel bad because I know that for actors, on your resume, you want named characters on there. But I guess if you put man and featured or man and principal, that still carries some weight. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I like to strip away everything and just have the entirely inner life, but none of the superficial things. And in the scripts, there's no physical description ever, except for strangers towering over people. But even that, if we had a really small stranger, we still could have accomplished that with movie magic somehow or another. So I hope that answers the question. Oh, look, I'm excited. All the people commenting. Thank you, David Nielsen. Thank you, Sarah Holland. We got very good filmmakers following. What's that?
I want to know did you write Moment of Truth knowing that you would have a minuscule budget, or did you write it like however you wanted, and then when you came down to production, you were like, oh, okay, this is how much we have, this is how much we're going to have to make.
What's funny is that with my short films, my first short films, they were incredibly spare and small and Spartan, and I read Robert Rodriguez's Rebel Without a Crew, which was kind of a foundational text of how to make something without much money. Those of you who know El Mariachi and how that kind of came about. But so the shorts, the first short I ever did was one actor in one room. And nothing but dialogue for like 15 minutes. And he's talking to himself and he's playing both characters. And then kind of expand a little with the shorts. But the first two features actually pushed the micro budget quite a bit. Moment of Truth had lots of action and violence and car chases and things that shouldn't be in a low budget movie. And Testament was epic, in a way that micro budget films are not supposed to be, and had these big panoramic views and dystopian future, which again is kind of so I did write toward my budget, but I did it cleverly. Not to pat myself on the back, but Moment of Truth, I knew I was in Fort Myers at the time, and what we had was beaches and palm trees, and this was right after the economic crash in 2008. We had a lot of abandoned buildings. So I thought the juxtaposition of paradise and rot was an interesting thing. So the film was kind of built toward that. And I knew that there were a lot of good male actors in the area that were between 20 and 40s. And so I wrote a lot of those characters. But then with Orlando has a very strong female actor contingent. So I kind of wish I had written more female roles for these, but then I was pulling from source material that was very male-centric, aka the Bible. So I could only do so much there. I did change one of the characters in Testament from early on being a male to a female, one of the primary characters. But so yeah, I have strategy, and this one is by far the most sparse, and it was nice to write, and I've enjoyed it as a producer. Having one location, you know, it makes that location very important, and thankfully they've been very accommodating. But you know, very small cast and not a lot of stunts or anything like that to have to deal with. It's very character driven and theme driven.
Do you have the name of that book?
Oh, the book that Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Rebel Without a Crew.
Oh, true, you did say that. Okay.
Noelle and Khalid nodded, so they're familiar at least somewhat. Robert Rodriguez went on to make Sin City. He actually did he's doing the Boba Fett. That's him. He's directing that, I believe, the new Boba Fett show. But yeah, he's popped up in a lot of things over the years and is buds with Tarantino. But he made his first film, El Mariachi. He had no money. This was back in the celluloid days, so film cost money. So he, in the book, he details how he sold his blood plasma for money and drummed together $7,000, which was just enough to cover the film itself, and made his action movie, which then got worldwide distribution. And his next film was Desperado with, what's his name? Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. It was just up and up and up from there, and From Dusk Till Dawn and all these things. Spy Kids, I guess that's what the kids today know. Spy Kids, he did Spy Kids.
I love Spy Kids.
I've never seen them, but I know that people watch them.
Yeah, they're great.
Shannon, you look like you have something to add about Spy Kids.
That is absolutely a classic. I have no idea how you've never seen it. A true work of art. Really, like the fundamental aspects of my childhood rests in that movie, and you haven't seen it. So I have a lot of things I could say about that, but I won't.
I hear about these things from my students all the time. I teach at UCF in the film program, and they were on me last year about Scooby-Doo and how I haven't seen the live action Scooby-Doo, and it's a classic. And I'm like, it can't possibly be a classic. I think you're mistaken. I've seen the commercials. But, no, I'm not going to disparage Scooby-Doo. We have and David Nielsen in the chat mentioned Alita Battle Angel is also Rodriguez.
I thought that was Spielberg.
What's that?
I thought that was Spielberg.
Spielberg? No, he did. You're thinking Ready Player One.
Yeah, you're right.
They do look kind of similar from the outside, so I can see that mistake.
Well, I like them both. So.
There's a question. Do I enjoy having both producer and director duties? Not really, but as Shakzad will testify, you kind of gotta do what you gotta do to get the thing made. I've never been able to just direct. It's always been producing involved. So that's just life. But there are aspects of producing that I enjoy. I certainly enjoy assembling the team. I like the cast and the crew and finding the best people and watching how they fit together. That's wonderful. So. Other thoughts, questions? We're past the hour mark.
I just put the Instagram link in the chat of YouTube. If you haven't followed us yet, please do.
Yeah, please find us on all of our social media. Facebook is something I'm familiar with because I'm older. So it's pretty robust there, and we're catching up with our Instagram and our TikTok. If you look at the perks on Seed&Spark, if you do the $25, you get a super value. You can actually get a TikTok from us. We'll put your name and Shannon will dance or something as we say thank you, John or whoever, and sing a song with your name in it or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm hoping to have some of those $25 ones by this weekend, so we can do it on set as a group and serenade you with TikTok. So hopefully I just sold a few of those. Thank you, Shaksad, for selling that social media for us. Other questions from anyone? Oh, there you see. Yeah, there's all the stuff on Facebook just posted. Anything else from cast and crew? Anything you want us to know about the movie or your lives or independent film? Shannon.
Well, I'll just be really, really corny and say that I am so excited to work with all of you and to be on this journey with you all. I love that we all just love this process and are here for that love for it. I just used the word love like 16 times. But no, I'm really, really excited and really looking forward to see what everybody brings. So, yeah.
It's a happening scene. Awesome. Well, find us. Find us at Seed&Spark. Find us on social media. Stalk us in our personal... No, don't do that. Well, you can say hi on our personal accounts. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, cast and crew, for joining us, sharing this moment with me and with our hopefully soon to keep growing audience. And we'll be back with a movie. Hopefully everyone can join in the experiment, as the video says, and be a part of this. So thank you, everyone. I guess with that we'll sign off. More updates to come. Follow us.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Aurora, for conducting. All right, bye, everyone. Onward. All right.